Technology.
Oh, so good. Okay, so I think we're good. I think we're live. All right, so guys, welcome to today's jam session. I have my friend and financial coach, Audrey Faust, with me today. And we're going to be jamming on why managing your money mindset is the key to unlocking wealth. And I had an experience with Audrey in a masterclass that she hosted last October that was really eye-opening for me, and I understood something. I think we call these prosperity blockers, right? We'll get
Yes.
into this a little bit, but a prosperity blocker. And I was like, what's a prosperity blocker? And I've done money mindset work and all these things, but when I heard you speak into it, and then I realized something, a story that I had, it was like, holy schmoly. And you gave me some ways and tools to work around that, which we'll talk about. But before we talk about that experience and those tools, welcome. I'm so excited to have you today and chat with you, Audrey. So
Thanks, Mel. I'm so excited to be here. I
yeah.
love chatting with you.
Yes. So what's funny is Audrey and I met in a business community, but we live 30 minutes or lived, she's now in Florida and I'm still in the Philadelphia region, lived 30 minutes away from each other and didn't even know it, which is
Yeah,
insane,
not
right?
even. I think it was more
Yeah,
like 20.
yeah, exactly.
I think we
Um,
found that out like 2 weeks before I moved.
we did. I was like, dang it. We could have had some good coffee chats or wine chats or something. But yeah, so Audrey, I would love for you just to really introduce yourself, give us just a little bit of your background because I know it's expansive. There's a lot there. Um, but I'm just gonna let you lead in and then we're just gonna jam further if you don't mind.
Sure, thanks.
Yeah.
So, as I'm a financial coach, as Val said, and I work with women, primarily women business owners, but I have worked with other women. And I've had other women in my group. I'm the founder of Financially Empowered Sisterhood, which is a community and a group program where I empower women to take control of their finances, to shift their mindset. So I say mindset plus strategy is what I do. So and that's the program. So first we kind of work a lot on mindset because the mindset will keep you from the strategy if you don't have the mindset correct. And it will sabotage you all along the way. Um, but there's also strategy in there where we figure out what your net worth is. We create a prosperity blueprint. We I also teach women how to start investing on their own, which is a huge like people women make it think it's complicated, but it's actually show them how easy it can be. And actually, that's the best feedback I've gotten from my group program is how easy um, I've made everything for women. Women often think like finances is so complicated and it's hard to understand, and but really everything I've made it easy so and uncomplicated it because I know we won't do it if it's complicated. We won't do it if it's a lot of work. Um, myself included. So that's why I like to make things easy peasy, uncomplicated, and super efficient.
I love that. You know, when you were saying like breaking it down and making it easy, and especially when we're talking about like investing, I think about like my own journey. I'm in my mid 40s, and I think this is a story that a lot of people can resonate, especially of a certain generation. Is you get that job, right? Whether it's out of college or out of high school, you get the job, you go into the job, and then we're offered these 401k plans, right? And it's like just choose this one plan, and we're going to take care of everything for you, right? And it's so appealing because you're like, wait, I don't have to know. I don't have to pick this investment or that fund, or I don't, it's so overwhelming, right? Or you get those, what are those like prospectus sheets or something? I think
Yeah,
that's what they're called.
prospectuses. Yeah, they come
Yes.
with the mutual funds.
Yes. And you're like, what
I
in
have
the
to read
world?
that.
Yeah. So I think it's almost like trained. We're almost trained, right? To think it's complicated. And this could, I mean, this you could go down a whole lot of theory behind this, right? A rabbit hole. And that's not the point of this.
Yeah,
But I think it's just worth mentioning because I think a lot of reasons why we don't talk about these things or know about how easy it can be, or that your money mindset is even a huge piece of your overall total wealth, right? Is because we've just been led down this path of just do this, do this, do this, right?
Right.
And so that keeps us small. It keeps us stuck,
Exactly. And
right?
a lot of the things are wrong. I talk
Mm.
in my masterclass about the 7% rule, and we were taught to pay extra on our mortgage. And I
Mm.
show you exactly with a calculator I've created, I'd show exactly why that's not the best way to grow your wealth is paying extra on your mortgage. And I actually cringe when I hear people saying that.
You're like, dang it. Well, I think this just goes to show where it's like having someone like you, Audrey, that is educated, has worked with individuals and business owners and really understands the total landscape of how to build your financial prosperity, right? Your abundance, your wealth, your peace of mind, all the things is really critical because it's not plugged into like just one method or just invest in this thing. Or,
Yeah.
you're going to have people who are selling you your mortgage are going to tell you, well, you could pay this off in 15 years if you just put extra in. And you're like, no, 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 no.
Yeah.
That may not be the best case scenario here, right? So, yeah.
And
So
and
go
and
ahead.
probably back in the day, right? When there
Hmm.
were double digit interest rates, that was your best. And that's probably where it came from, but nobody took the time to like analyze it and look at it again now that we're in single digit interest rates.
Sure.
So,
Well, that makes
um,
sense, right? That makes
yeah,
sense. Yeah.
yeah.
So it's really being able to respond what's happening in our markets, right? And having someone who
And
can literally look at the numbers with you and help you make the best decision.
analyze it. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. 100%.
So what we were talking about at the top of this call, but also before this call, was really speaking into everything starts with your mindset, right? And I know you're a neuro certified coach, right? Which is a big
Yes.
piece of the work that you do because everything else follows that. Can you explain a little bit about what that means and why that's important for someone when they're starting to think about their money?
Um, well, if you have a subconscious block, and most of our subconscious or our prosperity blocks came to us when we were a child and we don't even know they're in there. I think you experienced that in my master class. You were like, "What? I still have stuff in there?" I did all
Yeah.
the work. Um,
Yep.
and it's true. We think we've done all the work, but the exercise I go through in the master class actually is a way to tap right into your subconscious. Um, and our subconscious runs 95% of our thoughts. And we have 80,000 thoughts per day.
Insane.
So basic and most of our subconscious was created when we were a child under the age of 7 because that's when it was forming. If you think about it, we believed in Santa Claus, right?
Yep.
And whatever anybody told us, we took it as truth. So if
Mhm.
you saw your parents fighting about money, you would create a belief around that. If
Mhm.
your uncle was rich and he was a total jerk, you
Mhm.
would create a belief around that.
Mhm.
Um, like all these beliefs, and maybe you heard your parents saying, "Oh, Uncle Bill is such a jerk. He has money, and he's such a jerk because he has money."
Mhm.
Right? Boom, subconscious belief. And all of those beliefs are tucked away in there, and you don't even know they're there. And they are running your show. So basically, you have a 7-year-old running the show every day of the week. So,
That's frightening.
right? So,
That's
um,
frightening.
I
Yeah.
have a really great exercise that can tap right into that subconscious that we do. It takes a few minutes. And then in the master class, I show you how to start reprogramming that. Um, that's something we dive deeper into in Financially Empowered Sisterhood, where I make sure I don't say reprogramming, but we remove the blocks, and I make sure you are doing it the right way. I tell you how to do it in the
Mhm.
master class for free. In the program, we work together. We make sure you're doing it the right way, as well as a bunch of other strategies and mindset hacks that I have.
Right.
But, I love to give that away for free because that is the one thing that will hold you back And you hear about lottery winners, right? How a lot of times they spend all their money and they're broke again in a couple
Yeah.
years because they have a belief in there that they can't be rich, or that Uncle Bill was a jerk, so I don't want to be a jerk, so I'm just going to get rid of all this money.
Right. Isn't that insane?
Um, yeah,
Yeah, that's insane. So I mean, it's not insane. It makes sense. And especially when we're in the coaching space, so we understand how some of these beliefs at a very young age really do dictate what we're doing right now, right? And whether that's money or relationships or whatever the thing is,
yeah.
right? I remember I used to I used to hear people talk about like money mindset, money mindset. I'm like, I don't have any money blocks. Like, what are you talking about? Flip my hair back. I don't have money blocks. I receive money. I will spend money. Oh my gosh, right? And what I've learned over time, and it just continues to unfold, right? Which I'll get to the point with you, because I've done some of this work previous to attending your masterclass and knowing you, was that like our behaviors and the ways of being or how we think about money. It's never really about the money, right? It's always about something else. And so
100%.
yeah, and it's like we're pulling back the layers, right? We're pulling back the layers and getting underneath stuff, which is why being in a program like that you offer is you can understand one of your stories or something that's around the story, but it's doing that deeper work and spending the time in the work, which is what actually shifts your mindset, right? Which is
Yeah,
why, like you said, like we can't do this in just a master class, right? But
right.
in the master class, I'll just share this for everyone. What came up, and I'm not gonna share your whole process, but what had come up for me was this story that I think it's hard to make money.
And that's probably
And
the number one challenge that's programmed in us. I know I had the
right.
same one before I reprogrammed it. My mom always said, "I work hard for my money."
Yep. Yep.
My brain translated, it's hard to make money, right?
Yes. Yeah. Or everything is you have to work hard. You have to work hard. You have to work
Yeah.
hard. Right. And when we work is when we receive. Right. And so even now, like I don't I don't consciously think that because I have lots of proof to show me otherwise. It's the subconscious belief there. Right.
Yes.
And so when that had come up for me, I was like, what? Why is it still here? Right? I couldn't believe it. And so Audrey had given me some tools, which I'm not going to share all her things because you have to experience it. That I've been implementing over the last several months, and it's been really supportive and shifting how I'm showing up in all ways in my work, in my relationship to like my household, everything. It's been really fascinating. Um, you
That's
were
great.
just yeah, so thank you for that, and this is part of why I
Sure.
wanted to have you on here because you have a masterclass coming up on the 11th, right?
Right.
January
Mhm.
11th.
January
Uh,
11th. And it's
yeah,
actually the last one I'm doing, at least until the fall. I'm not sure if I'm
mhm,
going back to the masterclass model in the fall or not. Kind of working through a bunch of things
okay,
with my business. So it may be the last time period, or at least the last time until the fall.
until the fall. Okay, so for those that are even remotely interested in hearing more and uncovering some things, they need to be on this call with you,
Yeah,
right? They
and
need to be
there's
on
a
the class with
replay.
you.
Like if
Yeah,
It's January 11th at 11:30 Eastern time.
okay,
If that day time doesn't work, there is a replay that'll be available for like 4 or 5 days after,
okay, all right,
that you can watch the recording.
perfect. Well,
And
we're
there's a
gonna
VIP option. If you want the recording forever, it's like $47, and you get the recording forever.
yeah, that's
You
amazing.
can
That's
watch it
amazing.
2 months from now.
Yeah, okay, so it's something you can keep coming back to, right? Which is always super
Yeah.
valuable,
And
which
it's
is why
and it's interesting. I don't know if you're able to show up again, Val, but it's interesting to reevaluate every couple of months and say, are they still there?
mm, God. I'm already
I
like,
don't know if I want to do
"Here we
that.
go. Here we go." It's I joke around, I'm like, "The work's never done. We're always a work in progress," right?
Yeah.
Well, that's perfect. What we'll do is, the masterclass is called Unlocking Your Financial Success, correct?
Yes.
Unlocking Financial Success. So what we'll do is we'll end up putting the link to that for those that want to register in the comments section below. And then we'll be sharing it in different places and people can connect with you online as well. Um, Audrey, I just for, sake of time and honoring your time and those that are listening in here, what I would love to know is maybe a little fun fact about yourself. Like, what are one to two, I'll say, habits or rituals or something that what do you do to um, you know, continue to like practice good financial health or to ensure good financial health or peace of mind or something like that? What are some things that you specifically do for yourself? Obviously you've been in this for a while, you've done things, you're at a different place than your clients are at, but like if you're on, I want to say, the other side of things, what does that look like for you?
Well, I find it very important, and I do this all the time, is to I always say know your numbers.
Mm.
So look at your financials in your business, have them up to date, either do your own bookkeeping or hire a bookkeeper. Make sure you're looking at them every single month. Because there's stories in those numbers. And what you focus on grows. And I say that all the time. If you're not looking at your numbers and you want them to grow, you have a better chance. There's like an 80% chance to be more successful if you're looking at your numbers every single month. 80%.
80%. That's
It's
significant.
huge.
That's
And
huge.
it's something
Yeah.
real easy we can all do in like
Mhm.
15 minutes.
Mhm.
So, make a monthly date with yourself and look at your numbers every month. Make sure if you have a bookkeeper, the bookkeeper's putting your stuff in the right place because they don't always understand what your business is doing. So they may make a few mistakes because they don't understand and they don't ask questions.
Mhm.
So, I've come across many people that I've reviewed their financials in like 3 seconds and said, this doesn't make sense. And they go back to their bookkeeper, and it was like a $3,000 deduction that their bookkeeper missed and put it under owner draws,
Oh, wow.
because they
Yeah.
didn't know what it was. And I was just
Mhm.
like, so like, make sure you're looking at it.
Right.
It's like probably cost you about $1,000 in taxes.
A lot. Hmm.
So, I mean, that's one thing I constantly do. And the other thing is I just kind of, I still have money mindset issues. I retired my husband this year and we moved to Florida, as you said. And we like in the beginning of the year, that thought was in my mind, like, oh, we're retiring him. So we're gonna have less money. So blah, 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 blah. So I was running in this scarcity mindset for a while and I didn't even realize that I was doing it. And it probably took me about a month to realize I was doing it, which I thought was like huge.
Yeah.
And for me, it was like in the space, and I'm doing this for other people, working with it, and here's me like in this scarcity mindset, worrying about money.
Mm.
And I'm a big believer in the law of attraction. And when we worry about money, what were we attracting? We're attracting more bills, we're attracting more expenses, we're not attracting income. So when you're in that scarcity mindset, so it took me about a month. And then I realized that I was in it. And I was like, okay, we're shifting this right now.
Yeah.
And
Right.
it's ironically, Val, as soon as I shifted it, I got $1,000 check in the mail. And I was like, see?
Yeah.
And here, I had done my husband's tax return, or I thought I had filed it like a year or so ago. And I never actually hit the send button. And I got a notice that it wasn't filed on time. It was $1,000 penalty I got for not filing his business return on time. I was like, well, I made a mistake. Pay it up. I paid it up.
Mhm.
And then out of nowhere, like a year later, that was the check I got in the mail. I just refunded it to me. And they didn't have to because I made the mistake. I
Yeah.
was late. I don't know why they refunded it. I was gonna call them and ask them. I
Nope.
just deposited that money in my account.
You're like, I will take that. Thank you.
But yeah, I mean, it was kind of like a funny thing. I was like, it was within a week of when I just shifted that mindset that all of a sudden that check came in the mail. And I was
That's
just like,
so
what are
fascinating.
you doing?
Yeah. So let me ask you, because I can just hear somebody right now being like, well, how did you shift it? how did you shift into an abundant mindset? Like, what is something like, is there like a process that you follow? Is there a mantra that you use?
Mantras,
Like,
yeah. So
okay.
in my master class, I give everybody a free 25 money mindset mantras. And that's what I did. I'm like, wait a minute here. I started saying a mantra on that list. I think money comes to me easily and freely on a continuous basis from multiple sources. That's like my favorite one.
Mm,
And I just all of a sudden I stuck it on, and when I want to put something in front of me, I stick it on a little sticky note and on my desk.
mhm.
So I wrote that down on the sticky note and I posted it, and I constantly looked at it, said it, see it, say it, write it, right? That's what I
Yeah,
teach in my class too. So I did that, and boom, just shifted.
that's
So,
amazing.
and then I got proof, which helped, right? That's
Yeah,
another
of
check
course.
in the mail. It's
Of course.
like,
Yeah, of course. Well,
let's
and
keep saying this.
yeah, exactly. You're like, I'm
Actually, I
taking,
haven't put it back up since I moved to Florida. I think after this call, I'm putting that back up.
yeah, you will. And then I'm gonna hear an update. I got another $1,000 check. I got a $5,000 check. I love that. And I love that you're taking like exactly what you teach, right? And
Yeah,
noticing for yourself, like, he- here's what I love about this. It's like we have these stories that we've created long ago, right? And there's a part of me, there's a part of me that sometimes questions like, do the storms ever really go away? Like, whether it
yeah,
doesn't, I'm not talking about money. Sometimes I'm like, does it really ever go away? Or are we more attuned to when it's happening and we have
yeah,
tools to start shifting things, right? So whether
yeah,
it's about money or about something else. And you know, it's so I love that you're saying like I even deal with this, right? You had a
yeah.
huge life change, like retire. First of all, retiring your husband, baller move, by the way. So congratulations on
Thank
that.
you. It was the only way I was getting him to Florida because his business was built around that our location.
Okay, you're like, let's go. I'm tired of this snow. Let's go. I need some palm trees. Um, but I really do love that because it's like you created this process, right? And that you're using yourself, but you're using it with your clients. And I know some of the you know, not testimonials, but some of the testimonials I'll say of your clients has been huge, right? They're like getting double the raises in the amount of time, or
Yeah,
they're doubling their rates, right? Six-figure earner in a part-time gig, right? Like, I mean, it keeps coming back. What I keep thinking is, okay, we're managing our mindset and we're also focusing, like you said, like where you're focusing
focus
is what
on the
grows,
money. Yeah.
right? So I love that. That's some great tips
And
that
that's
everyone's take away right
unfortunately
now.
that's the thing women hate to focus on is the money.
Yes.
We're told like we aren't allowed to make enough money. We aren't allowed,
Yep.
we're not the breadwinner. We're not this, we're not that, right? We're told
Yeah.
all those things.
Yep.
Um, and when we're little, and now I feel like it's starting to shift,
Hmm.
in this next generation because things have shifted. It's in, so there's two things I want to share. One, you mentioned testimonials. So one of the most amazing testimonials was a friend of mine attended the master class. Um, and she did the work that I teach in the free master class. She was doing around $5,000 months, right? On the regular for 2+ years. She hired very expensive, well-known coaches that she worked with for 2 years, and still $5,000 months. She couldn't get over this hump. She did this master class. She followed through and actually and did the removal of the blocks. She had an $80,000 month. Yeah, she
$1,000
texted me.
month.
She called me immediately and said, "You're not going to believe this. It's been 3 months since I started your process."
Hmm.
She's like, "I just closed $80,000 worth of business this month."
Oh my gosh. That is incredible.
So that's
That's
how powerful mindset is, right? That's how powerful mindset is. She
incredible.
worked with this coach's very famous coach on strategy for 2 years.
Right.
And when she flipped the mindset, she was like, boom.
Mm.
And she's like, and it was easy. That's what she said. It was
And
easy.
it was easy. Yes. Oh,
It felt easy, yeah. And I was like, "Oh, there you go."
yeah. You're welcome.
I know.
Yeah, well, and I think that's the power of coaching, right? Um when you're especially in business. I mean, I work with people in business, right? Like I work with a lot of people in starting their business and growing their business. And the thing that I often say to them is like, I care, I say this and mean it because of who they're becoming. I care less about how much money you're making and who you're becoming in the process. Because it's in that process that the things are lifted up, which is what's holding them back, right?
Yeah.
So I could imagine if I'm working with my clients and they're shifting and growing, if they were to then be implementing the money mindset work, which is not what I focus on, that's not my gifting, that's yours. Like, how much more explosive would that be?
Yeah.
And then seeing the results a lot faster. So, I love that. That's a
Yeah.
incredible.
You bring up a great point because I do the master class inside of other people's groups.
Mhm.
I'm not sure if you attended it when I did it in Amy Yamada's group.
Mm-mm, I don't think so.
But yeah, so I do offer the master class inside of groups, and I'll continue to do that. I'm just not
Cool.
going to be launching it the same way that I am now. If
Right.
it's, as it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. Yes, I do.
So,
Yes.
but yeah, I will continue to offer it. And what a great thing to offer your clients if you're
Mhm.
not in the financial space like me,
Right.
is this free masterclass to your group. Like, it's only going to benefit you because they're going to make more money
Right.
and you're going to
Yeah.
look good too.
It's we know good people.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I mean,
exactly.
I think this is a really valuable point. So for anyone who's listening in, if you have a community and you're working with people, um, that where Audrey's work would complement what you're doing as she works with predominantly business owners, female business owners. Like, this is a perfect opportunity to connect with her in addition to maybe coming to her masterclass to see how you work. Or if
Yeah.
you're even, there's someone who's listening who's like, you know what, I'm ready to like take on all of this, work on the mindset piece and work on the very logistical strategic part so I can grow my finance, create my finances in a way that feels good and the way that I want and have a great trajectory. Like, this is where you can reach out to Audrey directly, right? And again, we'll put the links in here so people can connect with you if they're just like, okay, great masterclass, but actually I just want to talk to you. I just want to talk to Audrey. Or
Yeah.
you catch this post masterclass and it's too late to, to get in and listen, whether it's live or on the replay. This is why we'll also have your contact information for here.
Thank
So
you. Yeah. And I
awesome.
do work with people one on one. And I said I'm not continuing this group program anymore. What I'm
Mhm.
actually creating is a hybrid model of a community with one-on-one coaching. So that's kind of what I'm going to be releasing after this, probably in the next 2 months, month or two,
Okay.
once I
That's
fine
awesome.
tune everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, I work with women one-on-one. I have one-on-one clients now. I have the group program, but now I'm kind of like merging it into one offer where it's going to be more of a one-on-one model with a
Mhm.
community because people really love that community. Women really love a
Yeah.
community. And but they also like hold their financial stuff close sometimes.
Mhm.
And they need that little extra one-on-one support. Like where I
Yeah.
can actually look at their numbers like I did with the one client and said, saved her probably $1,000 in taxes in 10 seconds. Like, I just kind of
Incredible.
looked at him. They're like, what's that?
Investment
Like,
done. ROI, great.
right.
Yeah. No,
So
I think
so yeah, I do because I've been in the CF accounting world and my background's in accounting. I've been in that world working with small businesses my entire career. But now I have a mission to help women really understand their numbers on their own, as well as grow their wealth. Um, and stop being afraid of and stressed out and make them feel confident around their numbers and what they're looking at. So they're expected to have a seat at the table, not just have a seat at the table, they're expected to have a seat at the financial table. That's what I want to grow.
Makes my heart beat fast. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Anything that is empowering women to, to be in leadership and empowering roles, and to put them in those bigger seats for decision making. I mean,
Yes.
that's why a lot of us do the work that we do. And I absolutely love that. So, okay, awesome. So again, for those that are listening, we're going to put all the links bottom. If you want to go to Audrey's masterclass, you want to connect in directly with her. The masterclass is January 11th. And then of course you can connect it with her before or after that, if you're looking for some specific support. Is there anything else, Audrey? Anything else you want to share before we?
I just want to, I guess, touch on a little bit of the shame and guilt that's kind of around women not understanding and knowing their finances. One fun fact I like to share, it wasn't until 1974 that women could even have a credit card. We're like the first generation of women to be able to have money, which is just mind blowing to me. Like, so stop beating yourself up that you don't know, right? Take a step forward and educate yourself now. And then you get to pay it forward. Not only will you educate yourself, you get to pay it forward to your daughters, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we'll all be, you know, financially better off and knowledgeable.
I love that.
So
Yeah, no, thank you. Thank you for presencing that here. And I think that is something that a lot of women deal with. It's shame that we should know, right? It's shame
right.
around that I've made mistakes, or you bought a cup of coffee instead of putting that extra $5 on your credit card or something. It's, towards your debt or something. There's so much shame around numbers,
There
which is
is.
why people don't
And
talk
money.
about it. And I understand that too. I mean, sometimes, I've looked at stuff and I'm like, why did I make that decision? I didn't know any better. Literally, no one gave me financial education as I was
Right.
growing up. None.
They didn't
Like,
know.
no, I mean, I was living with my single mom, right, who was doing the best that she could. And then my dad, who had an idea of some financial like wisdom, certainly wasn't sharing that with me, not because he didn't
Yeah.
want to. I think because he didn't even think to tell me about
Right.
stuff. Right. So, like, I had to figure stuff out as like I became an adult. And I think especially I'm going to say this, especially for female founders and entrepreneurs, it takes
Yeah.
a lot of guts and courage to become an entrepreneur, right? And a business
100%.
owner, a lot. And so I think when there's an area that you may not be excelling at, the
Mm-hmm.
shame is even greater,
Yes.
because it's like so much is working in other areas of our lives. And then there's this one area that's not
Yes.
working,
Let's
right?
sweep it under the rug.
Yes. Yeah, totally. And so, it's, or, we're not investing in ourselves. We're not investing in our businesses the same rate that men do. Or, we don't think that we can get access, or we think we can be successful. I mean, there's just and this comes back to all
Yeah.
the money stories that we've been told, or even now when you hear all these stats, well, women still don't make as much as men do, right? If you're constantly hearing that, even
Yeah.
that stat, you're going to
Exactly.
internalize that. You're going
Yeah.
to internalize, like, well, it's, this is all I'm going to
Yep.
make.
I can't make that much.
That's right. I can't. Like, that guy can, but I can't. Right. And so
Yeah.
I love that you brought that up, and thank you for presencing that, because I know that's something that you're really, you speak into a lot, and
Yeah.
really help like break those things down. And when we shed light on what's not working, the shame goes away. Right.
Yeah.
So,
And we educate ourselves, the shame goes away, right?
yeah, for
Well,
sure.
and
Hmm.
it's okay if you buy that $5 coffee, Val. It's okay.
Yeah. I'm going to buy the $5 coffee.
I,
Okay.
I had one client come in one time and she's like, I need you to like smack my hands and tell me no. And I'm like, that's not who I am.
Yeah.
I'm like, just
Yeah.
putting you that out there. I'm
Yeah.
like, you get to decide where you want to spend your money. You get to decide that. I'm not going to tell you. I'm like, I'm going to show you where we're going to look at it, and you're going to understand it, and you're going to get to make the decisions where your money goes. Not me.
Right.
So, I mean, that's empowerment. And that's what I love, for women to actually take control and make their own decisions. Because you know what? If I'm there smacking their hands, telling them no, when I go away, they're going to go back to the same way.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Because they
So,
haven't taken
so
control
yeah,
of it.
it's like you get to decide. You want that budget for your team and your traveling and your great. Let's figure out how to get the revenue to support that.
Mm,
That's kind of, where I do. Or if you
right.
have a team and I had a client at one point, we brought her on and she's like all in the weeds with, she wanted to build a program, but she had no revenue coming in.
Mhm.
So she hired this entire team to build out this program, which she was using her own personal money for
Mhm.
without really having any money break. And I didn't make the decision for her, but what we did, we looked at the numbers. We looked how much her team was costing her every month.
Mhm.
And I said, how do you feel about starting with one-on-one? And then we go to this course or whatever.
Yeah.
And she went from 0 to like 15,000 in less than 3 months. That was
Yeah.
one of my one-on-one clients. And she cut her budget way down, less than
Yeah.
half.
I was gonna
So,
say, yeah, team and tech tools can be expensive. It adds
yeah,
up for
yeah,
sure. Yeah,
yeah,
I love that advice. And that's also what's I think beautiful about your position. It's not just a money coach, like you have an MBA, like you understand how businesses work.
yeah,
Right. And like not just big businesses. Sometimes I think that can feel like for some people like, oh, that's a corporation, that's a big company, like I don't need somebody who is a CFO or somebody who has that background. But no, actually you do, because if you're running a business you need to be thinking like a CEO, right?
yeah,
Even if you're a party of one, like I speak into this, and then my co-lead for one of the masterminds that I run, Jenna Lear, which you know as well, like
yeah,
we speak into that, like you have to think as if you are a CEO, make CEO decisions, and one of those is having
absolutely.
someone like you on their team. So yeah,
And
love
one
it.
of those is looking at your numbers. On
Right.
on the, I have another side of my business where I work with multi seven figure clients, and those those CEOs are like, and I have a counting team, and we work and we actually do their finances. And by the way, I've only ever worked for small businesses. I love small businesses. But these are like multi seven figure, and they're like knocking on my email if I don't have their financials ready by like the 10th of the month.
Yeah.
So, but
Chasing
that's
after
the
some money.
mindset and that's the
Yeah.
growth. And they're growing, right?
Mm,
They're focusing on the numbers, and because they're growing every year, every
yeah.
year.
Oh,
So,
so I love that.
yeah,
It's
you got to think like that multi seven figure CEO.
yeah,
Start looking at your numbers, start focusing on them, making decisions based on them,
right.
and then watch it grow.
Watch it grow. These are like super practical steps
Yeah.
and things to think about. So awesome. All right, so we're going to wrap it up here. Audrey, again, thank you so much for coming in today and sharing. Just
Sure.
I
I
love
had a
this
lot of fun.
conversation. Yeah, for me too. And again, I'll say it again. Depending on where someone came in, we're going to drop all the links in the comment section below. Go join the masterclass. Reach out to Audrey if you need support. Um, and then I'll be back in here later with some more information on business, and not necessarily money because that's your area, but businesses, and highlighting some other people that I just love. And I think that I want people to know them, especially as we're coming into 2024, a new year, and how you can up level your business in 2024. So
Awesome.
perfect. All right,
Thanks
Audrey,
so
thanks
much,
so much.
Val.
You're welcome. All right, bye everyone.